Good.
Finds the cup. He's walking it, he's looking, he's begging, and it's worked.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it? That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win!
Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see. It's their time. A night to remember.
Witness the origin.
Don't you want to be more than what they say you are?
Of Optimus Prime.
Take these and access your full potential.
On September 20th.
Roll out.
What?
Louder.
Transform and roll out.
Yes!
Discover the legend behind the leader.
Come on. It's all good. Oh, that's not good.
Transformers 1.
Oh!
Only theaters September 20th.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Gentlemen, good evening and welcome. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now! So close. How do you like it? Off the show. So aggressive, so focused. Look at these two guys. Still the undisputed champion of the world. What a great day to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Southern California, and of course, it's a beautiful, sunshiny day as we are here at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, home to Major League Soccer's LA Galaxy, as well as a beautiful tennis facility, but it will be turned into the War Ground Saturday night, one of the most iconic boxing venues on the West Coast, known for its slugfest action. And we hope to see another one Saturday night in our main event as Diego Pacheco takes the headlining spot to take on Maciej Sulecki, fighting out of Poland. Of course, he says that this is his last chance. If he beats Pacheco, he thinks he earns a world title shot late in his career. As for Pacheco, this should be his toughest test to date. Gets past this fight, who knows what's next. He's even talking about perhaps facing Canelo sooner than later. We'll see about that. Right now, let's show you what's on tap Saturday night. A loaded before the bell prelim card with 3 fights, and then our main card will have 5 featured fights. Let's show you what we have as Alex Getch, 5-0. They call him the Alley Cat. He'll be taking on David Vargas. Then it's Kristek Bazaldua. He's also 5-0 unbeaten, facing Kyle Irwin. And then in our featured prelim, it will be Fabian Rojo and Alejandro Frias. As for the main card, it will begin with a world title bout. The WBC interim 115-pound female title on the line as Adalia Ruiz, La Cobra, defends against Jenny Fuchs. Then it's Chev Clark making his U.S. debut. They love him over in Great Britain. We'll see what he's made of here in Southern California as he takes on Efe Apochi. And then it's Arturo Cardenas in action. He'll be taking on Jesus Artiga. And then our co-main event, Sugar Nunez. What a talent. 27 wins, 27 knockouts. He'll be facing the veteran Miguel Mariaga. And then, of course, the coup de grace, Diego Pacheco taking on Maciej Sulecki. We'll be hearing from all our fighters on our main card momentarily, but how about we start with the fighters that will be featured on our Before the Bell. That will begin at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's local time here on Saturday, with our main card kicking off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's 4:30 local time. Without further ado, let's turn it to the stage right now. And the chairman of Matchroom, Mr. Eddie Hearn. Apparently he's not ready yet, so I get to talk a little bit more. Somebody tell Eddie he's hanging me out to dry up here. All right, so Diego Pacheco, he is 27-0 with 17 knockouts, 168-pound division. Of course, it is Canelo Alvarez division, but those belts seem to be getting fragmented sooner than later. You know, the IBF's always a problem. Other belts could be taken from him soon, and you think that's where Diego Pacheco might be able to swoop in and get one of those titles, and then perhaps a unification fight down the line with Canelo Alvarez. Of course, that's the dream for Diego Pacheco, but he'll be facing a very tough Polish fighter in Maciej Sulecki, who only has 2 losses against very top-tier opponents, including Demetrius Andrade, but he's never been stopped. Diego Pacheco telling us earlier this week that that's his goal, is to stop this Polish fighter and advance, hopefully, to a bigger fight night sooner than later. As for the co-main event, Miguel Mariaga started out like gangbusters, but he's fallen on hard times, 6-7 in his last 13 fights, and he's facing perhaps his toughest test to date. Who knows just how good Sugar Nunez is? His stats do not lie. 27 wins, only 1 loss. That loss came 6 years ago in a very controversial 6-round decision loss, but he has 27 wins with 27 knockouts. He believes that he'll get the winner of the Warrington Kakachi fight. That'll be taking place over in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia in October. As for Chev Clark, he's making his debut. The Jamaican-born fighter is unbeaten in the UK, and he comes over here taking on a very tough Nigerian fighter in Efe Apochi, who's coming off a very impressive stoppage win in his last fight. I'm being told Eddie Hearn is now ready, and he's on stage right now to interview our Before the Bell fighters.
Well, thank you, Todd. Apologies for making you do all of that again, but you do it so well. So I thought you were outstanding. Thank you. Well, welcome back, I guess, to Los Angeles after what was an incredible event in Riyadh season, August the 3rd, and now at one of my favourite venues, the War Grounds, Dignity Health Sports Park. It was 10 years ago that Kell Brook dethroned Sean Porter at this very arena for a great night for Matchroom. Now we're back in the US, starting an incredible run on DAZN. Of course, this weekend we see Diego Pacheco continue his assault on the super middleweight division, and a fantastic night of boxing as we build up to, of course, Canelo against Berlanga live on DAZN. Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois, 96,000 now, record-breaking audience for Riyadh season at Wembley Stadium. Before we go back September 28th, of course, in the UK, and then building towards Bivol Beterbiev. What a fight for the Undisputed Championship in Riyadh. Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis, and so much more to come as well. We're going to go through the entire card. As we said, a big night of boxing here in Los Angeles on Saturday. I'm going to start with a young man to my left, Fabian Rojo. Fabian, welcome. This is a great opportunity for you. I saw you fight on the big Estrada against Bam card in Phoenix. An unbelievable talent, linked up with a Matchroom team. Big platform for you on Saturday, ready to continue that undefeated career.
Simplemente carrera de Estrada, Pam, eres un gran talento, tienes muchas oportunidades, ahora ves con nosotros aquí en Matchroom, supongo que con ganas de seguir con tu carrera.
Sí, por supuesto. Primero que nada, quiero darle muchas gracias a mi promotora, Matchroom, Eddie Herren y DAZN por darme esta gran oportunidad. Y por supuesto que estoy muy agradecido, muy orgulloso de mí mismo por todo lo que he logrado. Y creo que es una gran oportunidad para mí.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I have to say thank you very much to my promoter, to Matchroom, to Eddie Hearn for giving me this opportunity. And of course, you know, I'm really happy. I'm really proud of what I've done so far, proud of myself. I'm really looking forward to continue doing what I've been doing.
Thank you, Fabian, and everybody tuned in on the stream around the world. Make sure you follow the career of this young man. Very, very exciting, 147-pounder. Punches very, very hard, going to be in some great fights. As they tell me, this man to the right, Alex Getche, is going to be as well. A young man who's starting out his professional career and an outstanding young talent that we're keeping our eyes on Saturday. Of course, big crowd coming for you for Los Angeles as well, and ready for a big night at the War Grounds on Saturday.
Yes, sir. I'm thankful to be able to fight here. Thank you to Matchroom Boxing for putting me on this card. And I'm ready to put it on a show in my hometown.
Look forward to seeing you, Alex, and for you as well. I know very young, but how quickly do you want to move in your career about building and making the most of opportunities like this on Saturday?
I feel I'm ready. You know, I definitely believe in myself. I definitely believe in my skills. So when the opportunity comes, I'll be ready.
Thanks. Both two undefeated young prospects, and of course another undefeated young prospect, Krzysztof Baldazua, against Carl Irwin. It's a great fight on Saturday. Carl, let's start with you. I've been told you're a lot of fun to watch, and so is this young man. We're expecting a great fight here.
Absolutely. Thank you. First off, I want to say thank you, Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, DAZN, for giving me this opportunity. This is a big platform, big spotlight. The lights are going to be a lot brighter, but at the end of the day, just another fight. Just going to step in the ring, do what I do best. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I had a great camp, great preparation. Thank you.
You watch much of this young man, undefeated, tall, but this is his first real test on Saturday night.
Yeah, I know he's tall. As a stocky fighter, I'm always the shorter fighter, so it's nothing new to me. I've had great sparring, great tall lefty sparring for this camp, about 3 weeks straight of it. So I believe in my skills, believe in my preparation, believe in my grit, and I know I'm going to bring the war.
Krzysztof, excited. I think fair to say your first real test on Saturday. You've had a great apprenticeship, fighting all around, of course, Mexico and the US as well, but a real fight against a real opponent on Saturday.
Well, first and foremost, I want to give all the glory and thanks to God for putting me in the stage and letting me display my talents to the best of my abilities. A big thank you to you, Matchroom DAZN, for another huge opportunity to fight a big stage. And yeah, I'm just ready. I've been building myself these past few fights, and I'm up for the test. Anytime you guys, whoever you guys put in front of me, I'm ready.
I know that some of those learning experiences have been in Mexico, but nice to be back home and big local crowd coming to support you on Saturday.
No, for sure, yeah. It's always great fighting home, even just in the U.S. I'm just ready to defend my home territory and make a name for myself.
Well, it's a great fight to look forward to, Irwin against Baldazua. And this is a great fight as well. I think one that our good friend Roberto has told us we must make this fight. This young lady to my right, an outstanding talent, so exciting. Of course, Ginny Fuchs has been looking for this opportunity for a long time, an outstanding amateur. And I feel like women's boxing's in a really interesting place at the moment. There's a lot of outstanding female talent coming through, but I think we have to make sure we make the great fights. I think one of the great things about female boxing is the fighters have always been willing to challenge themselves, to step up, to be in undefeated matchups, to win world titles, to try and unify. And Ginny, we'll start with you. Only 3-0, but everybody in boxing knows about your talent, your ability. And I know you've been keeping active, but this is kind of like the crunch test coming in for you now on Saturday night against Adelaide.
Yeah, I remember last time we talked, I told you that my next fight, I want a world title shot. So I've been, staying ready for the moment, the opportunity, and I've been, staying busy in the Team Combat League too. I don't know if you've seen me. Yeah. So when you guys called me for this fight, I was like, well, it's going to be for the WBC belt. Y'all agreed to it, and so I'm here to take it, and I'm ready.
It's funny that you've been looking for that opportunity for so long. Must have thought that maybe it wouldn't come. and then all of a sudden the phone call comes. This is an opportunity that will change your life and your career on Saturday.
No, exactly. Yeah, I've been frustrated, waiting and seeing and trying to get out there, trying to get a fight, and I honestly think being involved in the Team Combat League kind of helped people see me in action and see my skill, and then they wanted to see more of me at that higher level. So the fact that you guys called me, is a blessing, and I'm glad you gave me this opportunity.
Fantastic amateur pedigree. We know you know boxing inside out as well. What do you know about your opponent? Comes with a good reputation, a lot of support, all action as well. You see this as a good style matchup.
Yeah, I'm glad to be matched up with a top fighter. I don't think she's going to be able to handle my speed and footwork, but I'm ready to, be in the ring with her on Saturday night and show both of our skills.
Look forward to seeing you in action, Adelaide. Welcome. Big opportunity for you. Of course, massive support in Los Angeles as well. The WBC interim world title on the line. Huge moment for your career on Saturday.
Yes, thank you, Eddie. Well, thank you to Matchroom, DAZN, and my management team, Cheer Sports, for making this possible and happen. And this is a huge spotlight for me. And I think, Jenny, I know your reputation, and I know you've been out there. You have an excellent amateur career. You've been active on TCL. And I believe, and I think so, you'll be my real first test. I fought really good fighters in the past, but I think she'll be my real test. But I've been in the game for many years. I know my skills, and I'm not only a brawler, I could be a boxer, and I could be everything. And I don't think everybody has seen what I'm capable of doing in the ring until I'm inside the ring with the other opponent. I'm not just one boxer or one fighter. I could be many things. So I'm coming, and I'm keeping my belt this Saturday.
You have a tough fight, but also you have a tremendous platform. For me, I love this arena here, but also your home crowd. And if you can perform with that atmosphere on Saturday and that kind of support, it's going to be huge for your career.
Yes, and I love it. My fans, my friends, my family, everybody's coming, and they know I put on a show. And like I said, God first willing, and I'm taking my belt back home with me.
Well, thanks to everybody up here. Two fantastic undefeated young prospects, Fabian Rojo and Alex Gueche. Christek Baldazur in a tough one against Carl Irwin, and a tremendous female fight for the WBC interim world title, Adelaide Ruiz against Jenny Fuchs. Don't miss it. We're going to face everybody off up here, and we'll be back for segment 2 shortly. Thank you.
All right, so we are 48 hours away from these athletes squaring off at the war grounds here at the Dignity Health Sports Park. Now we'll do the stare downs as we get set for what should be an electric event. Tickets available now. If you know anything about this venue, there have been some fantastic bouts. It never seems to disappoint. Nice outdoor venue. Normally tennis matches are held there. And again, our Before the Bell prelim card begins at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. That's 5:30 Eastern Time. Alex Getch and David Vargas. And how about this? Jenny Fuchs, only 3-0, but she gets a shot at the interim world title, 115 pounds, taking on Adelaide Ruiz, La Cobra, who is 16-0-1 with 8 knockouts from right here in Los Angeles, California. You know she's going to have a ton of fans going wild Saturday night. So again, 3 fights on Before the Bell, followed by 5 on our main card, headlined, of course, by Diego Pacheco and Maciej Sulecki. Before we hear from those fighters, let's hear from a word of our sponsors.
Los mejores momentos de la vida son los que nos llenan el corazón. Momentos que compartimos nuestras auténticas tradiciones y recetas llenas de sabor. Los quesos y cremas marca El Mexicano te brindan lo mejor en calidad y frescura, para disfrutar en familia y compartir con futuras generaciones. y seguir creando momentos inolvidables llenos de felicidad que dejarán huella en nuestros corazones. Somos El Mexicano.
I'm ready for a quesadilla. What about you guys? All right. So it happened Saturday night live here at the Dignity Health Sports Park, and now we're going to hear from our fighters on our main card. And I got to tell you, every fighter seems to have some great story about overcoming adversity, none more than Chev Clark. I learned this week that he has somehow escaped death not once but twice. When he was a kid, he fell off a ladder and was impaled by a steel spike. He lived to tell the tale, and then when he was 18, his appendix exploded, which could have killed him, and he survived that and now is a world-class boxer. So, Chev, congratulations for surviving, my man. I want to hear more about that as we turn it back over to Eddie Hearn.
Thanks, Todd. Welcome back to segment 2 here in Los Angeles. Saturday night at the War Grounds. Great night of boxing on DAZN. And we have some action up here in these 3 fights. To my left, Efe Apochi, cruiserweight, looking to take on Chev Clark. Jesus Arechega against one of the most exciting young prospects coming through in Arturo Cardenas. Miguel Mariaja against what I believe is the biggest puncher, pound for pound, in the sport in Sugar Nunes, ready to cement his position to fight for the world title at 130 pounds. 3 great fights, 3 all-action fights on Saturday. Efe, let's start with you, because you had a lot to say yesterday. We welcome you to the show, and what a big opportunity for you. Chev Clark, former Olympian, undefeated fighter, world-ranked, looks sensational so far in his pro career, but you bring a lot of confidence to this fight. Tell us why.
Mic check. First, I want to say thank you to Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, DAZN, for showcasing these beautiful talents. You know, I've been dying, waiting for this day. This is the day we've been waiting for a very long time. I've never had a promoter, never been promoted, never had anybody put money behind me or how they do it. I've been doing this thing all by myself, you know, training hard, preparing myself, because I know I'm the most dangerous cruiserweight in the world. Yeah, you can lick your lip all you want, but you are facing the most dangerous cruiserweight in the world. Yeah, I believe that. So, I'm just grateful, you know. For me right now is gratitude. I'm just happy to be on this platform. Matchroom is one of the best promotion in boxing I've been watching from the time of Tony Bellew, when you, Makabu, and that was when I started putting eye on Matchroom, like, yeah, I want to be on this kind of platform. I want to be on this place, you know. And today we're here, and I just want to say thank you for being here, for bringing me here. And Clark, Mr. Clark, I've been your fan. I've been rooting for you. I've been watching all your fights live, not on YouTube. I've been watching your fight live. You know, I really like you, man. You're a great fighter, complete amateur, standard amateur fighter. No disrespect to you. You know, sometimes we just make fun. We want to talk our opponent down, but I ain't disrespecting you. You're a good guy. You've done your best. You migrated from Jamaica to England, and now look at you. See what you've done. You represented England, you know, Commonwealth Games, all Olympic, World Championship. That's a standard amateur fighter. You know, nothing can beat that. But today, he is facing the greatest cruiserweight in the world, the underground king that has not been crowned yet. And today I announce myself, cruiserweight, hear me now. Your king is here.
Thank you, Efe. You said that you think his team have made a mistake in this fight. Do you think that's because sometimes people look at your record, 2 defeats, but very controversial split decisions? People also understand you're a good amateur. You beat Jai Opatara in the Commonwealth Games as well.
I destroyed him.
Okay. What do you see in Chev Clark that makes you so confident, and how do you beat him on Saturday night?
I'll knock him out. When I say I'm the most dangerous cruiserweight in the world, I mean that. I've never truly lost a fight. They can slap a slang on it and say split decision. I know what that is. Because when I go the distance with them, because I don't have a promoter, they always want to do that. That's why you see the 2 losses in my box rec is split decision just because I went the distance. And I knew what happened. But that's not what we're going to talk about right now. On Saturday, I'm just going to show you guys what I'm made of. I'm knocking Clark out. I bet a lot of money on myself. So it's a double fight. It's a double victory for me. He's not the guy. He's really not the guy. Like I said, he's a good fighter, but he's not the guy. When it comes to this level, bruh, look at me. Clark, I'm talking to you. Yeah, when it comes to this level, it's a different ball game, bruh. I don't know how you're going to survive, but I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Effie. Chev, something different for you this time. Opponent who definitely comes to fight, definitely talking a great game. You look chilled for your US debut. It's a big moment for you. I know the pulse is still low, but just to take this in, a fantastic start to your pro career and a big night for you in Los Angeles on Saturday.
Yeah, first of all, thank the people from LA for receiving me. It's great to finally be in the US. Shout out to Matchroom for bringing me over. Listen, I'm not with the chatting and lipping. That's not my thing. Come Saturday night, you guys will see what I do. You know what I do. So Saturday night, we'll see.
You rate this opponent on Saturday? Talk's a good game. Tough, we know that. We've all seen the footage, but these are the tests that you won on your way to the World Championship.
Yeah, to be fair, if you check my record, I've beaten guys that are better than him. So, you know, we'll see come Saturday night. And
oh, you're already confused. You don't even know what you're fighting. It's Saturday, bruh.
As I said, come Saturday, we'll see.
You said come Friday. It's Saturday.
Well, big moment for Chev Clark, standout amateur Olympic star, undefeated British cruiserweight champion against Effie Apochi, who's got a lot to say for himself and a lot to prove. Be a great cruiserweight fight on Saturday night, as will this fight be as well. Jesus Arachaga, welcome, and Arturo Cardenas. This will be a Mexican war on Saturday. Jesus, we'll start with you. Undefeated fighter, great opportunity, massive platform. We should get a tremendous fight between you and Arturo on Saturday.
Obviamente entras en esa pelea con un muy buen récord. Sabemos que es una oportunidad para ti, una plataforma muy grande. Todos los ingredientes para que sea una muy buena pelea este sábado contra Arturo.
Muy buenas tardes. Primero que nada, quiero agradecer a la empresa de Matchroom, Sanfer y Zapari Boxing por esta oportunidad. Estamos muy contentos, muy motivados por esta pelea. Venimos muy bien preparados y estamos listos para brindarle un gran espectáculo a la afición. Creo que va a ser una gran pelea entre mexicanos, prospectos mexicanos.
Yeah, so firstly, let me say thank you to Matchroom, to Zamfa, and to everybody involved in this for this opportunity. We're really happy, we're extremely motivated, we've prepared really well, and we're totally ready for this fight to put on a great show for the fans. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight between two Mexicans and two great Mexican prospects.
Thank you, Jesus. Arturo, welcome. Active, very, very active. Great fight last time out against Danny Barrios, who boxed off the back foot, was a little bit frustrating at times. I've got a feeling it won't be like that on Saturday. Two Mexicans ready for war at the War Grounds.
Sí, claro. Primero que nada, quiero darle gracias a Dios, a Eddie Hearn, a Matchroom por estas otras oportunidades. Y la verdad que sí, hemos estado muy activos y eso nada nos detiene. Y estamos muy listos para este 31 de agosto, que nos hemos preparado muy duro con mi equipo RGBA. Y como dicen, espero una gran pelea para este 31 de agosto de grandes prospectos mexicanos.
Yeah, so firstly, let me say thank you to God for the opportunity of being here, to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom for once again the opportunity. It's true what you say, I've been really active, but that won't go against me in this fight. You know, we'll be completely ready for the 31st. And I have to thank as well, we've put in some really hard work this time with our training team, with RGBA Boxing as well. And as my opponent said, it will be a great fight between two Mexican prospects.
Well, thank both of you. It'll be a tremendous fight as we move on to this one as well. Miguel Mariaga against Sugar Nunes, two of the biggest punchers in the division. Miguel, we'll start with you. Welcome. Many knockouts on the record, but you're in with a huge puncher, and you talked a great game yesterday in the media rounds. Ready for this opportunity on Saturday?
Sí, obviamente sabemos que tienes muchos caos en tu récord, pero sabemos que también tu oponente tiene una pegada muy grande, enorme. Hablaste muy bien en los medios ayer. ¿Listo para esta oportunidad de pelear el sábado?
Bueno, primero que todo, pues darle las gracias a la empresa, a Eddie Head y DAZN por la oportunidad. También pues sabemos que nuestro contrincante es un buen boxeador, también tiene pegada, y obviamente pues venimos preparados a dar un buen espectáculo. Espero que sea una buena pelea, y obviamente pues cada quien va a buscar su victoria, como todo. Es un buen boxeador, lo he visto, no lo conozco mucho, pero las cualidades que tiene pues se prestan también a mi boxeo, y bueno, aquí venimos a darla toda y obviamente pues a sacar una victoria.
Yeah, so first I want to say thank you to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, and also DAZN for giving me this opportunity. We know that, in this fight, we know we're facing a really tough boxer, a good boxer who hits very hard as well. But obviously we're coming into this to hope to get the victory once again. Each fighter will go on to do what they can to get the victory. I've seen him fight. I've not seen a great deal of him, but I know that he's a good fighter. But we'll look for our route to victory too, and I hope it will be a good event and a good fight for the fans.
Thank you, Miguel. The man to my right, who I think if you haven't seen it yet, watch this man's fight against Rakhimov out in Russia, where he became the mandatory challenger for the IBF world title. Just an incredible performance. I smashed my head open celebrating that performance, because I realised we had a very, very special fighter. Someone that will go into the Lion's Den and face anybody. I think he's one of the hardest punchers pound for pound in the sport of boxing, and I believe he's going to go on and be a world champion in many divisions for a long, long time. That's how good Sugar Nunes is. Sugar, welcome. Big fight for you on Saturday, coming off that tremendous victory in Russia. No time for complacency. Must win for you to get that shot at the world title.
Sí, primeramente, bienvenido, Eduardo. Sabemos que tuvimos una pelea tremenda, un resultado fantástico en Rusia cuando conseguiste la victoria, pero no hay más ya. Tienes que ganar este sábado y después buscar tu oportunidad mundialista.
Sí, así es. Pues primero que nada, gracias, Eddie. Un gusto saludarlos. Gracias a todos los involucrados para llevar a cabo esta función. A mi equipo por prepararme y acompañarme en el camino, forjando mi carrera. Estamos listos. Como dicen, tengo que ganar. Voy haciendo mi carrera. Siento que estoy haciendo las cosas bien. Estamos trabajando duro. Frente tengo a un gran rival. A un gran rival con mucha experiencia. Pero eso me motiva. Voy a aprender de él. Pero nada nos va a detener. Venimos a ganar. Tengo el performance para la afición, para gustar a la gente, y este sábado lo vamos a demostrar nuevamente.
So yeah, let me say thank you first to Eddie Hearn, to the promoters, to everybody involved in putting on this event. We've been working really hard with our team and my team that have accompanied me along this route in my boxing career. But that doesn't mean I'm going to take things lightly. It is a must-win fight for me on Saturday. I know that we've got a really good opponent in front of us. We know that he's very experienced, but I also know that this motivates me to learn as well from these experiences along the way. But as you say, we need to win on Saturday. And I also feel I've got the tools to be able to put on a great performance, which I will do on Saturday once again.
And Sugar, lastly, I know that you're focused on Mariaga, but in just 3 weeks' time, Josh Warrington and Antti Kakachi will fight for the IBF world title. You're ready to face the winner of that fight once you come through Saturday night.
Sí, obviamente no vas a pasar por alto tu oponente Mariaga de sábado, pero sabemos que dentro de 3 semanas se enfrentan dos boxeadores, Josh Warrington y Anthony Kakachi, para el título de ese FIB. ¿Te gustaría enfrentar el ganador de esa pelea?
Sí, claro. No puedo pasar desapercibido al rival que tengo frente. Es un gran peleador, como lo comenté, pero estamos listos. Tengo mi camino forjado y sigo haciéndolo. Pienso que no hay otro camino para Cacase o Warrington, tienen que enfrentarme y vamos a estar listos y espero que ellos estén, cualquiera de ellos dos esté listo para enfrentarme, que no hay otro camino para ellos.
So yeah, what I would say is, as you said, I'm not going to underestimate my opponent. I've got a great fighter in front of me, but I would be ready. You know, I feel I've got my career mapped out for me now, and all roads lead to facing the winner, and there's no other road that I can go along other than facing the winner of Kakashi or Warrington. You know, I'm going to be completely ready when I do face them, because I hope they'll be ready for me.
Well, thank you, Sugar. I will go as far to say I believe this is the next superstar of Mexican boxing. And 3 tremendous fights here, as we said before. Chev Clark, the British champion, the Olympic star, against Efe Apochi, a very, very good, intriguing cruiserweight matchup. This is going to be a war. Arturo Cardenas against Ariacharger. And look out for this one as well. Sugar Nunez, just a big, big puncher, against also the big punch in Mariaga. We're going to face these guys off now before we head to the main event. Thank you.
We will hear from the main event fighters in a few minutes, but first, our stare downs again. These athletes will be facing off in the ring August 31st live here from Carson, California. Tickets are available now. Prelims 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. The main card 4:30 p.m. Pacific. The sun will still be shining bright, and this fight could be one of the fights of the night. You heard how confident he was. Efe fighting back-to-back undefeated opponents, coming off a knockout win in February over Lucas da Silva. In fact, 4 of his last 5 opponents have been unbeaten. So too, of course, is Chev. Can the Nigerian pull off the upset here in Southern California? Said he bet a lot of money on himself. Chev with the talk softly but carry a big stick type of attitude. Didn't have much to say, but you know he will once that bell rings in 2 days' time. Chev Clark 9-0, 7 knockouts. Apochi 12-2, all 12 wins by KO. And now Arturo versus Jesus. Fight of the night, you think? 14-0 versus 21-1. Mexico versus Mexico. This place will be electric as these two men make the walk to the ring. 4th fight with Matchroom in just 8 months for Arturo, creeping up the ratings at 122 pounds, but this may be his toughest test to date. And then our co-main event of the evening. Eddie Hearn could not speak any more highly of Sugar Nunez, but if you've seen the video, you know exactly what he's talking about. He's an absolute destroyer. But can Miguel Mariaga flip the script? He knows this may be his last shot in prime time to pull off an upset. Mariaga's been in there with some big names. Vasily Lomachenko, the only fighter to have stopped him. He's been in there with Michael Conlon as well, Oscar Valdez. But Sugar Nunez, perhaps on his own island as far as talent goes. Can't wait to see that fight live here Saturday night. So just one more fight to talk about, and that will be our main event. Diego Pacheco taking on Sulecki. Before we hear from those two fighters, let's have a word from our sponsor, El Mexicano.
Latinos, somos creadores de momentos, momentos compartidos. Somos tan auténticos como los sabores que nos han unido por generaciones. Somos tradición, como la marca El Mexicano, que ofrece una gran variedad de productos de calidad y frescura, con sabor auténtico, para unirnos y vivir momentos de alegría. Somos familia, porque no hay nada más importante. Somos El Mexicano.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting set to hear from the two men competing in our main event Saturday night. Diego Pacheco, who's 21-0, has never been defeated. He's currently ranked number 1 by the WBO, 4th by the WBC and IBF. and the WBA has him 13th. But he'll be facing a fighter, a veteran in Sulecki, who's 32-2, and his 2 losses came to elite-level fighters. Demetrius Andrade and Danny Jacobs got the best of him, but they weren't able to stop him. In fact, no one has knocked this Polish fighter out, and yet Diego Pacheco says that is the goal. Not only does he want to win this fight Saturday night, he wants to do it in style. He's from Southern California. He's going to have a very raucous crowd behind him, pulling for him as he headlines here at the Dignity Sports Health Arena at the War Grounds. World title shot perhaps in 2025 for Pacheco. That's where Matchroom's heading him in that direction right now, but he's got to deliver the goods. As he said, he's got to shine on Saturday. As for Sulecki, he knows this could be the end of the road for him as far as getting a world title opportunity. He's had it twice before. He thinks if he can beat Pacheco, this could springboard him to one final shot. Can he be that man one final time? This is almost like a title eliminator for him against Diego Pacheco. Eddie Hearn is on the stage right now. Let's hear from the 2 combatants 48 hours before they square off.
Well, thanks, Todd. This is a great night of boxing on Saturday. We've been through, of course, those first 2 segments, some undefeated talent, some crunch fights for some young prospects, a fantastic world title fight as well. We just saw the segment 2, 3 tremendous fights that I can't wait for, and this is going to be a great fight as well. The man to my right, I see as the future of boxing in this country. Signed him at 17 years of age. We sit here very proud of him at 23 as #1 in the world now with the WBO, chasing the big fights at 168. And like every progression to greatness, you have to come through tough fights and steps along the way. This Saturday is Maciej Sulecki, a guy who we know so well, a guy that's been in so many tough fights over the years, a guy that has fire in his heart and desire to land a shot at the world title himself. Only 2 defeats, coming of course to Demetrius Andrade and Danny Jacobs, both on points, both in good fights. A big step up for Diego Pacheco. And firstly, we're going to hear from the trainers ahead of this crunch fight on Saturday night. Sosa, let's start with you. Welcome, always a pleasure to see you. Of course, Maciej, now based there in New York as well, putting the work in, ready for a big shot on Saturday night and speaking very confidently in the build-up to this fight.
Yes, it's been a great training camp. But first of all, I would like to thank Matchroom, Eddie Hearns, Team Pacheco for giving us an opportunity. It's been a great camp. We feel very confident. We know Diego for a very long time, great guy. Coach Benavidez, great people. Nothing bad to say about them. They're great coaches, great fighters, and we're here for a great fight. I know Pacheco is always ready and all that, so the people are definitely going to see a great fight August 31st, and war you're going to see, war you're going to get.
Maciej Sulecki came over and, the first time he was in a big fight was against Danny Jacobs. You remember that fight, of course. Gave a great showing in that fight, again against Demetrius Andrade, but coming off 4 wins as well. Looked in tremendous shape up at super middleweight. Going to give Diego all he can handle on Saturday night. We believe so. I mean, like I said, Diego is very talented, young, strong, tall, fast, great boxing IQ, but Sulecki has the boxing IQ also. He's been through wars, tough wars that he survived, 12 rounds, gave great fights, and I believe this is going to be Diego's biggest test. Thank you, Sosa. Jose, welcome. The progression has been tremendous with Diego as well, and now it starts to get really serious. People talking about world title opportunities in 2025, not looking at those right now, but looking at a very tough man and a tough test for Diego on Saturday night.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank all the media, all the people that are here. You're going to see a different Diego Pacheco this time. He had a great camp, but I think the biggest thing is the motivation of his daughter, his family that he has now. We have a great opponent in front of him, a guy that he needs in order for us to go to the next level. I think he's ready. He's ready to fight for a world title, and this is a big test, a good fighter. It's not an easy fight, but we got to look impressive in order to go to the next level. I want to thank Matchroom, you, Eddie, and DAZN for this opportunity. He's ready to show the world that we have the best 168 right now.
When you talk about the recent progression, of course, Caceres was a great fight for him. Come through a little bit of adversity in that fight, a couple of tough rounds, but a great knockout. McCallum was different, really tricky and awkward, to come through that fight. But is that what you're looking for on Saturday night, a standout performance to announce him to the world?
That's what we're looking for. He has to look impressive in order to go to the next level. I know that he's going to be a world champion. I believe that he is going to be a world champion. He's ready for those opportunities. But like I said, this Saturday, don't miss it. He has a big test in front of him, and he's ready. He's ready to take care of business.
Thank you, Jose. Maciej, welcome. It's good to see you again. You know, when we looked at opponents for Diego Pacheco, the guys would send them through, and your name would just stand out to me and say, that's the guy. That's the guy that we know will bring war. That's the guy that we know has a big set of cojones. That's the real test. You believe this is a test too soon for the man to my right. I heard what you said yesterday. You look in tremendous shape, ready for a great fight on Saturday.
Jak szukaliśmy rywala dla Pacheco, twoje nazwisko odstawało od wszystkich. Wiedzieliśmy, że masz, że przyjdziesz walczyć, przyjdziesz na wojnę i że masz wielkie jaja. Czy myślisz, że ten test jest za wcześnie dla Pacheco?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I want to first thank you very much. Matchroom Boxing, thank you, Eddie, DAZN. Thank you, Team Pacheco, that you give me chance. Thank you, my team, Kownacki management, Sosakru for life for great boxing camp again. You are the best. Thank you very much. So I know that I will be the best test for Pacheco. He's young, tall, he's prospect, but now this is not his time. He has time. Be world champion. Maybe will be world champion in the future. He has a talent, but I know that is my time now. You know, I'm ready for him. I hope that he's ready for me. I know this will be great fight.
He hasn't yet been taken to the trenches of war. Saturday, you're at the war grounds. Is that the intention from Maciej Sulecki? I know you can box smart as well, but you've got to test this guy and test his will as well.
On jeszcze nie był w głębokich wodach. Czy taki masz plan? Chcesz go wziąć na głębokie wody i go naprawdę przetestować?
Yes. Wezmę go na głębokie wody. Będę go najpoważniejszym sprawdzianem. Jestem tu, żeby wygrać. Jestem tu, żeby pokazać swoje najlepsze wersje u siebie. Wiem, że długo mnie nie było w dużym boksie. I Diego Pacheco pozwoli mi znowu stanąć do walki o tytuł mistrza świata.
I know I haven't been in big boxing in a while, but I'm going to take him into the deep waters and drown him. I don't think he's ready.
Thank you, Maciej. Diego, music to your ears. I guess that's what you want, right? You want someone to take you to the trenches. Caceres didn't do it. McCallum couldn't do it. These other people didn't do it. But this is a step up. This is a world-class operator and a real tough test for you on Saturday.
Yes. First and foremost, thank you to everybody who's here supporting this event. The media, the fans, my family, my friends. Thank you to Matchroom, DAZN, everyone who made this possible. And now we're here. I had a tremendous training camp. From my debut, 17 years old, to now 23, I feel like I progressed a lot, and I'm just super happy with where I'm at right now. Super happy with how my training camp went, and just excited for this fight Saturday. Sulecki is a tough guy, and I'm looking forward to a war come Saturday.
I guess we've been chipping away, we've been building away, and in the process, you've been continuously moving up the rankings, sitting at number 1 now with the WBO. There is a lot of people saying at 2025 you will be ordered to fight for that world championship. How far away do you feel like you are for those fights? But this is the kind of fight that's going to really show exactly where you and Jose are at in terms of those big fights at 168.
Yes, for sure, man. Of course, I'm young in the sport. I'm only 23 years old. But if it were up to me, man, I feel like I'm ready for anybody in the division. Right now I'm facing Sulecki, so that, of course, is my main focus. That's what I'm locked in on. And I feel great, man. I feel confident about my fight Saturday, and just looking forward to putting on another great performance. And being in tough fights is what I dreamed of my whole life. That's what I work hard for. That's what I'm in this sport for. And hopefully Saturday night it'll be a good fight, and the fans will all enjoy it.
And finally, as the progression continues, so too does the headlining and the arenas. Last time out, the YouTube Theatre was amazing. This Saturday, we've got a real special place. Los Angeles, the war grounds, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. Your whole city coming out for you. This is what you always dreamed of.
Definitely, man. As a little kid, I've been here so many times to support events, boxing events as a fan. And now for me to be here headlining is a dream come true for me. And I'm excited, man. LA is going to come out and show support. And I'm just ready to put on a great show. And, hopefully everyone enjoys it.
Well, thank you, Diego. Thank you, Maciej. 2 great 168-pounders. In our opinion, this man could be the future of the division, but a very tough test against Sulecki on Saturday night, headlining a tremendous card at the War Grounds. Of course, the action is coming thick and fast on the home of boxing, DAZN around the world. But don't miss this Saturday in Los Angeles. We've got a great show for you as we build into an unrivaled schedule to close out the year. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for a great show on Saturday. Thank you.
So we will get a final stare down here as we wrap up proceedings from our press conference. Tomorrow, the weigh-in live here from Dignity Health Sports Park. And then Saturday night, it will happen. And you're looking at our main event right now. Diego Pacheco, unbeaten, ranked number 1 in the world by 2 different organizations, taking on Maciej Sulecki. Only 2 losses in his career. He's never been stopped. He says Diego might be the future, but I'm the present. He's not good enough yet to beat me. USA versus Poland. Diego Pacheco coming off a win 4 months ago, went the decision. That broke a 9-fight knockout streak for him. He promises to get back on the KO train Saturday night, but it will not be easy against one of the toughest fighters he will ever step in the ring with. One more time, guys. Give it up. Diego Pacheco and Maciej Sulecki. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will be our main event. The co-main event, Eduardo Nunez, Sugar nicknamed. His nickname is Sugar, taking on Miguel Marriaga. We'll hear from Eddie Hearn. He'll be coming up here in just a moment. But right now, one final time, a word from our sponsors, El Mexicano.
Los mejores momentos de la vida son los que nos llenan el corazón. Momentos que compartimos nuestras auténticas tradiciones y recetas llenas de sabor. Los quesos y cremas marca El Mexicano te brindan lo mejor en calidad y frescura para disfrutar en familia y compartir con futuras generaciones. Y seguir creando momentos inolvidables llenos de felicidad que dejarán huella en nuestros corazones. Somos El Mexicano.
So let's look at our main fight card one final time. 5 bouts beginning at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Chev Clark and Efe Apochi. I think that one might steal the show, but don't sleep on Arturo versus Jesus, Mexico versus Mexico, and then, of course, the main event, Diego Pacheco versus Maciej Sulecki. And joining me now here on stage is Eddie Hearn. You just heard from the 2 primetime candidates. What feeling are you getting? What kind of fight do you think we're going to see?
This is a real fight. You know, I think that, you know, for Diego, I guess a lot of us know that Diego joined at 17. You know, sometimes we look at that young man and realize that he's a man now. And like you said, number 1 in the world with 2 governing bodies. He's going to get ordered to fight for the world championship in the next 8 to 12 months. You know, unfortunately for a lot of super middleweights, the world champion is Canelo Alvarez. But that's okay because Diego still needs 2 or 3 fights before he fights him. But he's going to fight him if he gets through tests like this. And, you know, one thing that I noticed in the head-to-head is Sulecki's a big guy. You know, when he was down at 160, I remember him making weight. He was so tight at 160. And actually, you know, Diego's a huge 168-pounder, but Sulecki's bringing some size here as well. And we saw him against Andrade. We saw him against Danny Jacobs. This is a tough fight for Diego, but I think the kind of fight where he can make a statement, where he can show us that he's really ready.
Yeah, you know, Sulecki said, I'm going to take him into deep waters. If you were advising Diego, and I'm sure he listens to you a little bit, are you going to say, look, don't let him even get to the deep waters. Go right after him early. We saw him get dropped in his last fight against a journeyman. He's looked a little chinny lately. What would your advice be to Pacheco?
Listen, in a way, you want him to go into deep waters, right? Because when you face the levels of Munguia and Mbili and Canelo Alvarez, you need to have gone through that adversity. Sometimes you're too good, you can't be taken there. But I expect Sulecki to push him. I expect him to take him to deep waters. And if Diego doesn't get rid of him early in this fight, it's going to get tough. But I want that, you know. And I think I look at Diego, and when Sulecki's saying, I'm going to drown you in deep waters, I think Diego's like, good. I want that. You know, this is what I've been training for. And this is the real crunch time for his career right now.
Sugar Nunez, 27 wins, 27 knockouts. You say if he gets this win, most likely he would face the winner of Warrington Kakachi. I know you're very tight with Warrington, but from what you've seen from this guy, would you make him the favorite against the winner of that fight? Is he that good?
Listen, I love Josh Warrington. We've had some amazing times, and sooner or later, look, Warrington had no fear facing Lara first time around, and again. So Warrington will fight anybody.
He didn't like those Mexicans, though.
No, but Nunes is different. Nunes is Mexican, but also he has a fantastic boxing IQ as well. I really feel like this guy's got it all. He's a massive puncher, but he's also a very good technician. With very good boxing fundamentals, a really smart boxing IQ. But that win against Rakimov in Russia, imagine you've been sent out to Russia to fight a final eliminator, and Rakimov is a machine.
Yeah.
He stuck it on him all night, and he's hung with him. He worked his body over until he just battered him to a pulp. And Mariaga is tough. This is a good fight, and it's a dangerous fight because Nunes is there. He doesn't have to do anything. He has the winner of Kakashi Warrington locked in. So he just needs to come through Saturday night, but you're looking at a special fighter.
Yeah, only Vasily Lomachenko has stopped Mariaga. Finally, of all the other fights, which one are you most excited to see?
I think action-wise, Cardenas against Aracharger is going to be an absolute Mexican bloodbath on Saturday. I mean, look, we're at the War Grounds.
That's what we want.
It is. But also, look out for Chev Clark against Apochi. I mean, Chev is one of our top prospects, undefeated British champion, Olympic star. But this Efe Apochi, he's a serious guy. He can punch. He's very, very physical. He's athletic. He was a good amateur as well. He had some good standout wins, a couple of defeats, but not really defeats if you watch those fights back. So this is a massive step up for Chev Clark. It's a brilliant card. Adelaide Ruiz against Ginny Fuchs as well for the WBC interim world title. Going to be a great matchup.
And a little off topic, I know you leave here, you go back to England for that massive AJ fight on the 21st. In October, it's Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia. Can we expect to see Matchroom back in the United States again in 2024?
Absolutely. I mean, firstly, we got a small matter of Edgar Berlanga taking on Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, sorry about that. Of course.
But then, of course, Riyadh season is there, and we have a big card being planned for November. Of course, we've got Jaron Boots Ennis, searching down that unification matchup. Some people are talking a great game. I don't really think they want to fight him, but we'll see. And, of course, Jesse Rodriguez as well back in action. And Shakur Stevenson joining the team now as well. The American stable is absolutely flying. And beyond Riyadh season, you will also see another Matchroom Boxing USA date locked in for November.
All right, your tan's getting great the more you spend here in Southern California. All right, we'll see you here for the next 2 days. Tomorrow, the weigh-in. Of course, Saturday, fight night at the War Grounds. Tickets are available now. We'll see you right back here on Matchroom YouTube or on DAZN for our weigh-in live from Carson, California. For Eddie Hearn and everyone here at Matchroom, I'm Todd Grisham. We'll see you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.